But yet people continue to give her airtime, to give her a platform, to take her advice, because everyone is too afraid to be fat.
Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Body Honesty Project. My name is Lydia, and today we are doing another Tess Holliday video. Because today I am going to weigh in on the Tess Holliday versus Gwyneth Paltrow drama that has been circulating the internet for the past couple of weeks. But before I give my 2 cents, I think we need to watch the complete TikTok. So let's jump right on in.
I have coffee, but I really like soup for lunch. I have bone broth for lunch a lot.
You know, what I find most mental about this is that we've known for years that she's okay with glorifying her eating disorder. And I'm not judging because I have an eating disorder. Bone broth is not a suitable meal. And then to end your day with just eating vegetables? But yet people continue to give her airtime, to give her a platform, to take her advice, because everyone is too afraid to be fat. I was at a big fancy Hollywood event years ago, and Gwyneth Paltrow was there, or as she had everyone refer to her as GP. And she was at a table with Rachel Zoe, and I'm not going to get too deep into Rachel Zoe, but I have my own opinions. And it was a seated dinner, and we had a set course, a set meal. And she loudly had to let everyone know in this very tiny room with Natalie Portman, Catherine O'Hara, you name it, they were there, that her and her table, which were a handful of her close friends, as she said, that they were going to have something different. Pizza, but not just any pizza, cauliflower crust pizza with no cheese. And I'm not shading anyone that likes cauliflower pizza. Go on, do your thing. But everyone just laughed like it was no big deal. And I'm not here to judge what people put in their bodies, especially as someone that has a restrictive eating disorder. And I get mocked all the time because I'm fat. So how dare I talk about not feeding my body, right? But this shit isn't normal. And it's affecting a whole other generation of young folks who think that eating like GP is appropriate, is okay. And I'm not saying that I have all the answers and I have it figured out, because I sure the hell don't. But with all the talk about Ozempic and all these other weight loss drugs, it's exhausting. It is okay to feed your body. Carbs are not the devil. Fat isn't bad. And I mean fat in your food and fat on your body. It's not bad. But hey, anything for $1, anything for the cost of people's mental health.
Now, Tess has a lot of criticisms of Gwyneth here. But don't they seem incredibly hypocritical, considering the behaviors that she does that also she gets paid for? I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time defending Gwyneth in this video because, well, I'm just not all that researched on her. But I will spend my time dissecting the words out of Tess's mouth. So let's start at the beginning.
You know, what I find most mental about this is that we've known for years that she's okay with glorifying her eating disorder.
So what's worse, glorifying an ED or lying about one? Gwyneth may or may not have an ED, and I will not label her as having one because she hasn't said that she has one. But Tess, on the other hand, has no problems slapping this label on her. Funny how she can do that when she says that she believes this.
It's impossible to look at someone and tell whether or not they're struggling with an eating disorder or if they're healthy.
So we can't tell if someone has an ED or if they're healthy by looking at them if they're fat. But if they're thin, well, then that's fair game. Is that right, Tess? And if you think that GP has an ED because she's thin, well, doesn't that blow your whole argument out of the water? Because you say that you can't tell if someone has a restrictive ED by their body size. But by Gwyneth being small, you're assuming that she doesn't eat a lot. So how the hell do you not eat a lot and still gain a lot of weight? How do we know that GP doesn't have binge eating disorder? Oh wait, she's not fat. That's right. I think you just told on yourself. Tess, on the other hand, claims that she has a restrictive eating disorder, yet she meets none of the criteria. Because remember, she says this,
I'm fat and that I have a restrictive eating disorder. I always thought that I overate. But then people in my life would say, oh yeah, I eat more than Tess. And it was almost like I wore it as a badge of honor. Share my eating disorder diagnosis. And obviously the world had a lot to say because I'm fat. And fat people just can't be anorexic.
But behaves like this. So, how can you criticize someone for glorifying an eating disorder that they may or may not have when you bold-face lie to people about having an eating disorder that you clearly do not have? Then Tess goes on to criticize what Gwyneth eats.
Bone broth is not a suitable meal. And then to end your day with just eating vegetables?
Now, I won't profess to know what's in Gwyneth's diet, nor have I researched it. But Kiana did a video about this, and I'll put a link to it in the description, although I'm sure most of my audience has probably already seen it. And from what she says, Gwyneth's diet doesn't look all that crazy.
Here's a post from Gwyneth Paltrow's Instagram from about a month ago. Sometimes it's a challenge to make grain-free, dairy-free, legume-free paleo dinners. I get stuck, but Brad and I have felt so well eating this low-inflammation way, with the occasional heavenly cheat meal, of course, that I keep challenging myself to find new ways to tailor food to this way of eating. And the food she makes actually looks pretty freaking good. We got some fish here with I don't know what they call when they put those herbs on top like that. And what is this, a full plate of avocados with looks like some sort of fish as well on top. Oh, it's crab. Crab avocado sashimi. A pasta of some sort and another salad here. I watched another video of her dumping oil on her eggs, and she's talking about these extravagant breakfasts she makes for her boyfriend every Sunday morning. She's also written a ton of cookbooks and seems to enjoy food. I don't really feel like it's fair to condemn or criticize someone for choosing to eat in a way that makes them and their body feel good, and that is objectively healthy.
She seems to eat normal food in normal portions. But in this day and age, with all the overly processed ready-made foods available, it's a rare thing to see. But it's not overly restrictive. She just doesn't eat junk. I also think we've become more acclimatized to overweight and obese bodies. I saw this TikTok a little while ago, and it couldn't be more true.
Okay, so this blows my mind. We've gotten to a point in society now where we've gotten so used to seeing overweight and obese people on the street that somehow it's become our norm. We have started seeing people with a BMI of 25 or higher as normal because that's what we're exposed to. If you actually measure people's BMI on the street, you'd be surprised what 25 looks like. We've become so desensitized to what healthy human bodies look like that slim people within the range of a healthy BMI now are seen as unhealthy and too skinny.
And I completely agree. I used to be average, or even on the heavier side of average, but now all of a sudden I'm skinny. But it's not me so much that has changed, it's the grading of the scale that we assess on that's changed. Let me show you some pictures of me at various weights to demonstrate. This is me at my current weight of approximately 117 pounds with a BMI of 20. Now, this is me at a weight of 130 pounds with a BMI of 23.9. Now, this is still healthy. I don't need to be as skinny as the previous, but this is a 10-pound difference. And this is me at 145 pounds. Now here, my BMI is 24.9. So I'm right on the cusp of normal weight and overweight. But I personally know that I don't feel good at this weight. This is overweight for me. I need to lose about 10 pounds from here to feel good and healthy. And this is me at my heaviest. I'm 165 pounds here with a BMI of 28.5. So right here, I'm pushing obese. Now, me at my heaviest is like the average woman now. But this is fat. This is not healthy. We have gotten so far away from what is considered healthy that this body that I have right now is now considered skinny. It is not skinny. In fact, I could lose 10 more pounds and still be healthy. I don't know all the details of Gwyneth's diet, but from the brief footage that I've seen, it doesn't appear to be extremely unhealthy. And certainly not so far out of the range of what is healthy that it needs to be reprimanded. And as far as I'm concerned, Tess's burger and taco binges do a lot more harm than Gwyneth telling people to drink bone broth. And of course, Tess has to complain that...
Yet people continue to give her airtime.
And I wonder the same thing about her. Why do people keep on giving Tess Holliday airtime? Why do talk show hosts repeatedly have her on to spew her lies? Why do so-called news shows have her on? Nothing that this woman says is factual. Why is she getting airtime? What Gwyneth might be doing may not be ideal or sustainable for many, many, many people. But I don't think it's a lie. I think that if you eat like Gwyneth, you will look similarly to Gwyneth. Tess, on the other hand, is telling a lie. You cannot starve yourself fat. And I think what Tess is more upset about is that Gwyneth is disproving Tess. She is showing how her diet yields a thin body, yet Tess Holliday is apparently starving herself fat. And we can't have anyone out here proving the truth. Tess just needs to believe that there's nothing wrong with being fat.
Because everyone is too afraid to be fat?
And she says it so indignantly, like there's no justifiable reason for not wanting to be fat. Maybe science?
These are the facts. America's obesity has not doubled, it's tripled in the past 50 years. The CDC defines obesity as anyone with a body mass index over 30. In the 1960s, that was only about 14% of our population, but today it's closer to 40%. But why is it so bad to be overweight? Well, it's dangerous. The census says the two primary drivers of mortality are smoking and obesity. It can increase your risk of diabetes, heart disease, even pancreatic, liver, and thyroid cancers.
Just because you don't want to believe it does not make it so. Then she told us a personal anecdote about an interaction that she had with GP herself.
I was at a big fancy Hollywood event years ago, and Gwyneth Paltrow was there.
And after all the name dropping was done, because, Tess likes to feel important, which was that GP ordered
something different. Pizza. But not just any pizza, cauliflower crust pizza with no cheese. And I'm not here to judge what people put in their bodies.
Are you sure you're not here to judge? Because this whole TikTok sounds like a lot of judgment. Now, if Tess was only attacking GP because she disrupted the service and wouldn't stick to the set menu and was being rude to the staff, then maybe I could get behind her. But we don't know the whole story. We don't know if Gwyneth's table cleared a different menu ahead of time. We don't know. And I don't know for certain if it was rude or not what Gwyneth did, but I'll say that it probably was. However, I can't get behind Tess's judgment because it's not so much about Gwyneth being rude, but much more judgment on the choice of food that Gwyneth wanted. And that's something I don't think that Tess should be judging. Then Tess makes a moral assessment.
But this shit isn't normal, and it's affecting a whole other generation of young folks who think that eating like GP is appropriate, is okay.
Opposed to how you eat, Tess? Is how you eat normal? I'm not saying she's perfect, but this food looks a lot better for you than this. Tess, is your goal to normalize being 400 pounds? If you're under 400 pounds, is that not normal? She likes to claim that she's into body autonomy and says things like this.
If you want to lose weight, that's fine.
But when a headline like this comes out, all of a sudden there is no body autonomy. This is promoting eating disorders. Why is it okay for you to live your life and expect nobody else to judge you, yet you are free to judge Gwyneth and how she lives her life? Do you not hold influence too? Should your behaviors be judged too? Or are you butthurt because Gwyneth has more influence than you do? She really needs this to be true.
Fat isn't bad, and I mean fat in your food and fat on your body. It's not bad.
But fat is bad because
there are over 200 diseases related to obesity: diabetes, high blood pressure, obstructive sleep apnea, polycystic ovarian syndrome, gastroesophageal reflux disease, osteoarthritis.
And that's only a few of them. And Tess, you know that if you don't change your ways, your obesity will be the cause of your early death. And of course, she closes with quite the zinger.
But hey, anything for $1.
Is she serious? Anything for $1? Hello.
This is my easy day-to-day makeup and how I achieve this look, and I'm so happy to add CoverGirl's Simply Ageless products to my routine.
Everybody deserves personalized skincare because everybody's skin is unique.
Tess Holliday, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Not too bad. The Not So Subtle Art of Being a Fat Girl, Loving the Skin You're In, your new book.
Hey y'all, I'm Tess Holliday and welcome to my slumber party. Each week I'm going to introduce you to folks who are making the world a better place.
So, selling products, writing books, and using social media. That's not doing things for money. Oh wait, that one didn't really make any money now, did it? But still, that looks like doing anything to make $1 to me. Now, I know a lot of other content creators have already covered this saga, but I wanted to add my 2 cents. Is Gwyneth healthy? Don't know. Is Tess healthy? Absolutely not. Does Gwyneth show that her diet yields a slim body? Yes. And does this fly in the face of Tess's starve yourself fat logic? Also yes. Is GP making money off of her goop? Yes. And is Tess making money off of her F Your Beauty standards? Also yes. So why is Tess so mad? Well, I think it's 2 things. Number 1, Gwyneth is disproving Tess's fat logic. And number 2, Gwyneth has more influence than Tess. That's what it is. I don't think that it's what GP is promoting that's the problem. It's that what she's promoting disproves Tess. And Tess would see this if she was honest with herself. So until next time, stay body positive, but also body honest.